I want to share with you 5 tips for your success so you can overcome what is getting in the way of your goals. And I'm going to talk about digging into your why, prioritizing your goals and actions, time management tricks, setting up notes and rewards for your goals, and focus work sessions. But who am I? I am Petra Monaco. I am an introverted rebel, author, artist, teacher, coach, and a doer of things. And I help freedom seeking rebels, creators, and multi passions get clear on their goals, create a plan to stay on track so they can create the change they want in their life. And, well, change the world while you're at it, right? Whether it is problem solving in life or business, providing accountability to get things done, or technical support to reduce the overwhelm, frustration can be a thing of the past. So let's dig into it, right? Dig into your why. Because over the years, I've found that when you don't know why you want something, you're not going to show up for it. Um, being really clear. So I want you to go ahead and declare your goal, whatever your goal is, and then find out all the reasons of why you want to happen. Something that became really helpful is I want this goal because, and then you insert your reason. And then when you insert your reason, well, I want this because, and I want this because, and do that about 5 to 10 times. And at some point, you're going to be just like, oh, yeah. Right. And so really find that motivation, the freedom that comes from that kind of a declaration. So go ahead and identify 3 to 5 personal motivations of why you want to achieve a specific goal. And then take some time to prioritize your motivations from most to least. You know, what part of your purpose and your why is so important and what's not, you can do without. And then place those notes with your goal and purpose around your office or your home so that you can see them in sort of visual reminders of why you want to achieve something. Sometimes when we write them down on paper or even have them on a Pinterest board or a Trello board or whatever you're using to write down your goals, they're not always in our face and we don't always see them. So having notes, whether it's on a cork board or some post-it notes, to look at them and see them every day and remind yourself of why you want this can be really helpful in showing up for it, even on those days that can feel incredibly hard. Because let's be honest, we always have them, no matter how much you know your why, you're going to have days where showing up for it is just going to be difficult. So digging deep into why you want to write a book or why you want to launch a business, why you want to reach a certain amount of income can be really, really helpful to eliminate your excuses and show up for it. And then, oftentimes there's a lack of priority that happens. Some goals are more important than others. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is each goal that you have set for yourself? And how important is it for you to achieve it? I start every day with 3 most important actions to get them done and to help me prioritize. So, something that you can do is create a timeline and then stick to it. In most cases, prioritization means you organize various items based on their level of importance, right? So, if visibility is important, which is what it's currently for me, so I'm creating daily videos for my personal YouTube channel. That means every day I have to record a video, and that is the most important action for me to take every single day. Creating a certain amount of income, that's important. So that's probably the second most important action of the day. So what money making activity can I do today? Because that's pretty important. And whatever else is your most important action for the day. Keep your to-do list. Keep it handy. I have a planner I reference every single day. It comes with my top 3 goals and actions I have to take for that day in order to reach my goal. Something that can help is plan in reverse. If you are not used to setting deadlines, you can reverse engineer your goals and action taking. And I've done this and I do it very often. Let's say your goal is to write a book and you're giving yourself a 3 months deadline. So 3 months from now, you're publishing the book. You can make a list of all the things that need to happen, right? And then reverse engineer of what needs to happen in what order. Or you want to reach a certain email list size by a certain time. What does that look like? What kind of summits and giveaways can you join in that time? What kind of freebies can you release? And you don't have to, have too many freebies, but just have a solid strategy behind releasing them to help with that, to get people into your list. And sort of reverse engineer that from working back. Well, by that time, I'm going to have X amount of people. That means what? You have to market your freebie, you have to join summits and giveaways, just kind of figure that out and use a gamification system. You can reward yourself, and I will talk about that just a little bit more. But for like the day to day, if you are achieving your three most important actions, how can you celebrate that at the end of the day? Time management is a huge struggle, and it's a big struggle for creatives because we really just want to go about our day however we want to go about our day, right? Like we struggle with the structure and rigidness of a schedule. However, I know from personal experience, those are pretty freaking important to get things done. And something that I learned over the years is to start with my ideal week. What does that look like? So, what would a Monday look like and a Tuesday? What are you doing at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday? What are you doing at 5 o'clock on a Friday? When you have, it's just a picture, it's just an overview. Your week isn't going to go exactly like that, but it can help your time management when you know what you're doing and when. And let's be clear, setting boundaries is okay. Saying no and being unavailable for things that are not relevant to you, that's okay. You don't have to be everything to everyone all the time. Um, so if you have set time aside to, say, write blog posts for the month, on Tuesday, 10 o'clock, and it's going to take you 2 to 3 hours, then that is what you're doing at that time. And if somebody needs you, you can negotiate your time. You can say, hey, I'm not available at that time, but I'm available at this time. That's going to really, really help you just stay focused on what it is that you need to be working on. One of the things I encourage you is to have a planner. There's so many planners out there, and I struggle to recommend one simply because we are also very different. So it's okay to do some research and figure out what works for you. But the planner can help you start with a clear focus for the day. What are your priorities? As I mentioned, the most important actions for the day. I have three that I need to do. And so you sit down in the morning and sort of review, this is what I need to do today. And then have a dynamic task list. Once you get your most important actions done, what else is on that list that you can get done? Focus on high value activities. Again, that's the most important activities. What is going to bring you in the money? What is going to get you closer to your goal? Like whatever that is, figure it out. And sometimes it doesn't have to be money oriented. Sometimes it can be just, sending out an email to stay engaged with your email list. Minimize interruptions. One of the things I do is I have a chalkboard thing outside of my office where I will write down that I'm unavailable because I'm either in a session, I'm recording something, I'm doing an interview, whatever is going on. So that my family knows to not interrupt me. Again, it's going back to set those boundaries with your people and be like, look, I'm unavailable because I have to do this. And come on, stop procrastinating. You have to do the work to get things done. That blog isn't going to write itself. The clients aren't going to just fall into your lap. The book isn't going to magically happen. And that closet isn't going to declutter to use itself. So let's just put that on our calendar and get it done. One of the things that creatives and multi-passionates tend to do quite often is multitask. And that's not how we ever, like, if we just put, it's like half-assing things. You're just paying attention to too many things and your brain can't make that happen. It's like tuning into a radio station. If you want to listen to it, you're just going to hear the one really, really clear. Because if you have it in a wrong setting and you're listening to two stations, it's all just going to be crazy jumble in your head and nothing is going to make sense. So limit your multitasking, and at the end of the day, take some time to review, celebrate your wins. I think that's really, really important. And, sometimes that means celebrating that you got out of bed and took a shower. I absolutely recognize that we have some days where we just can't master things. Let's talk about batching your work. This is what I do, and it feeds into the ideal week that I just talked about. When you sort of create your ideal week and say, okay, at Tuesday, 10 o'clock, I am writing my 4 blog posts for the month, if that's what you're doing. And it's going to take you maybe 2 or 3 hours, give or take, depending. That's batching your time, and that is doing that focus. It's reducing multitasking. It's giving you a little bit of a structure, and it allows for consistency so that you're not falling behind or just like, oh, I didn't write a blog post today. Oh, well. And then you don't go back to it. This can really help you with staying consistent. And this is for your blog post, your newsletter, any kind of marketing that you might be doing that's sort of repetitive. I'm a huge fan of writing down my repetitive actions and feed them into my schedule. And be like, all right, on this day is where I'm sort of drafting my blog post, or I'm drafting my emails for the entire month. I am drafting a launch plan or an offer plan, like what is going on. And so that just helps you stick to a schedule and also reduce stress. And who doesn't like less stress in their role? And before you know it, you're getting more stuff done than you thought. On an average, my day looks like focusing on my most important actions, which is, currently getting a video done for my YouTube channel, getting a video done for another project that I'm working on, and any kind of client work that I have. That's usually my big focus, but that also changes. But being allowing to do that, when I get that done by, say, 12, 1 o'clock, I have a whole afternoon to focus on some other things. So batching your work can really be helpful um, when you're struggling with time management and prioritizing some of your actions. And last but not least, reward yourself for the achievements and your hard work. I know I've talked about celebrating your wins at the end of the day, but let's talk about celebrating your achievement when you reach your goal. It's so super important. I feel like sort of like the payoff. And for me, that often looks like investing into another business tool when I've reached a certain goal that is going to make my life easier for business purposes, or maybe um, something in my house that's going to help. So don't pick a reward that negates what you've just achieved. If you want to reward yourself with a steak dinner, I'm all about that. That's very, very cool. But also make sure that the reward absolutely supports your goal that you've just made happen. So pick a reward that's relevant to the thing that you've just done. One of my goals is to be consistent in recording a video every day for this next year. This is going to help me probably launch a podcast, or I don't know, who knows, right? But that's a currently goal I have. And so one of my rewards is to buy a better microphone, buy better lighting. So those are my rewards for actually achieving different milestones along this journey. So pick something that really motivates you to get the job done. What's something that you want? You can make the reward something easy so to achieve quickly. Again, these rewards are incredibly personable. So, think about all the things that you would like to do. Maybe you want to take a class, and if you reach a certain goal, that class is going to be your reward. Maybe you want to take a quick trip. And, rewards don't have to cost anything. You can get pleasure out of the most simple things for yourself to really enjoy them. So I hope some of these were really, really helpful. But if you need more help, and a little one-on-one or some kind of support, I can help you with some clarity and mindset. I've just launched a Voxer coaching. It's a kind of like a VIP day where you get me all day, and we get to Voxer, just talk about it, whatever it is you need. I have email coaching. It's a 4-week program where we connect on a Zoom session, figure out what your goal is, and I'm just going to support your accountability. You have unlimited access to me via email, ask questions, get feedback, support, whatever it is you need, and also check in saying, hey, I did this. And if you're in business and you struggle with a website or with like a funnel, or interested in hosting a similar giveaway, you can do that as well. And you can find that at therebelsden.com. Work with me. I hope you found all these tips and tools helpful and that your goal setting is going to become just a little bit more easier.